All right, ladies and gentlemen, MrSotko here. Welcome back to the channel. Got a whole bunch of good crypto news stuff for you today, and it's action-packed. Got a whole bunch of it. So, the first thing that I want to talk about is nearly 95% of Bitcoin trading volumes were reported fake on unregulated exchanges. So, this is not necessarily new news, as this has been long suspected for quite a while, but the numbers are fairly fun and interesting. So as per the report submitted by the crypto asset management firm Bitwise to the SEC, nearly 95% of the Bitcoin trading volumes on unregulated crypto exchanges are fake. Bitwise filed for Bitcoin ETF approval with the SEC in January this year. The company has submitted a report to the SEC regarding manipulation of Bitcoin trading volume on various exchanges. The firm analyzed data from 81 crypto exchanges over a span of 4 days in March, and the study included regulated exchanges like Coinbase, Kraken, Poloniex, and also many unregulated exchanges, including Coinbean, IDAX, Bitforex, etc. In 4 days, over 6 billion in Bitcoin volume was recorded on CoinMarketCap, out of which only 273 million was deemed to be real. So the study demonstrates the difference between real and fake volumes with examples. It compares volumes from Coinbase Pro and Coinbean. And while Coinbase Pro reported a volume of 27 million, Coinbean reports a volume of 480 million at the same time span. And nobody's really even heard of Coinbean. So quite the difference there, like $500 million in trade volume. The study analyzes data from the bid, ask price, web traffic, social traction, etc. to detect the potential fake volume on the exchanges. Bitwise concluded only 10 out of the 81 exchanges in the study showed real volume. They include Binance, Coinbase, Bitstamp, Poloniex, Kraken, Bitfinex, Bitflyer, Gemini, Itbit, and Bittrex. As the only ones that report even reasonably real volume. The rest of them are just insane. And the reason why they do that is just so that you want to put your coin on their exchange or you want to use it. And then you come to find out that you can't sell much coin on there without dumping the price because the volume is actually totally fake. And they're just bots just selling and trading to make the volume look even bigger. So, interesting. So yeah, just use the good ones, I suppose, if there's any good exchanges even left. Nvidia is still trying to sell surplus mining equipment after the 2018 bear market. So Nvidia is still struggling today after they didn't really quite get into the crypto market when they should have, and then didn't realize how much of their GPUs were going to crypto sales. I remember reading articles of them saying, like, we don't know how much of our crypto sales, how much of our GPU sales is involved with crypto. Let me just say, like, almost all of them, right? Like, whenever you'd go into a Fry's Electronics or a Best Buy or even on Newegg or Amazon, even online retailers like that, you couldn't find a GPU during the height of the bull run there. You just couldn't find them. So I really highly doubt that gamers are just rushing in to buy the same 10 series card that has been around for a year or two before that in order to, just clear the shelves so that they could play games that they probably already had a graphics card to do it with. So, gee, I wonder, Nvidia. So these guys are just so out of touch. In the wake of the global crypto market sliding nearly $700 billion over the course of 2018, crypto mining became one of the worst affected industries. So by the end of Q4 2018, Nvidia became the worst performing stock on the S&P 500, reporting a 54% loss in share value as the company struggled to meet sales targets. So in a conversation with MarketWatch, Nvidia's CFO, Colette Kress, elaborated further on the specific reason. Gaming revenue was short of our expectations. No, it's always on the same. First of all, you guys didn't come out with a new graphics card for a very long time. And I think the gaming, in the sense, has always been the same. You need to go out and you need to buy one graphics card, maybe two for SLI. Three-way and four-way was kind of always dead. It never really worked all that well, and it honestly resulted in a lot of bugs, crashes, etc. It just was never particularly good. So two-way SLI at best. And, if you didn't release a new graphics card, then, obviously nobody needs to buy the new ones. The 10 series was around for quite a while before they finally released the RTX 20 series. So they say gaming revenue was short of their expectations. Our fourth quarter outlook was impacted excess channel inventory of mid-range Pascal products. She went on to add that we believe this is a near-term issue that will be corrected in 1 or 2 quarters and remain confident in our competitive position, which I agree with that. Eventually this will just correct itself and it'll be fine, but they probably overproduced a lot of Pascal products because of the crypto mining boom while pretending to be stupid about it. and saying we don't know how much of our crypto sales really were, like, in order to sell GPUs to crypto enthusiasts and miners. And it was pretty obvious that it was, I guess I can't really say a percentage, but, if I had to, 70-80% of all your GPUs were going to crypto miners. Exactly why everything was off the shelf. And it's just like, we've never seen that in the past with gaming. We've never seen in the past where GPUs were just absolutely bought off the shelves for months, weeks, whatever on end. It just doesn't happen like that. You need to buy one graphics card as a gamer, at two at best, for SLI or for Nvidia or for AMD Crossfire, etc. So fiat are slightly down from last year for fiscal 2020 and will quickly improve upon a 3-year surge once built-up inventory is used by its customers. So again, true, I believe in that, but also what didn't help you was the excessive price of the RTX series that was released. $1,300 for a 2080 Ti, and like $1,000 for the 2080, and down. I think they've lowered a little bit now, but yeah. So $1,300 for a 2080 Ti, like, where did that come from? And I think the only answer to that is the crypto market. I think they just decided that out of nowhere. I think they sort of just poof out of nowhere, in the same way that you go to civil court and you sometimes you just bring up a price out of nowhere. You just say, oh yeah, for this thing $3,000, right? And then the judge will award you what you wanted, but by going at $3,000, going in high, you could potentially get up to that. Kind of like Price is Right in a sense, except the opposite. So I think they just guessed, and they were like, yeah, no, people will buy these for $1,200, $1,300. And people did. And people still are. And I think the sales are actually starting to decline. I think they were really excited about them when they first came out, thinking, oh, these are going to mine so well. And really, the mining hash rate of the 20 series is really not that amazing. It's just not. It's better. Of course, they're better graphics cards. They're a new series of cards, but they're just really not that amazing. Nothing to justify $1,300 to actually mine with. And I think that the sales of them has really fell off, as a lot of people just don't have $1,300 to buy a 2080 Ti. It's just, I mean, you could spend that on a lot of other things, especially considering a 1080 Ti is pretty much just as good, and still holds up to this day, except for with like 4K, VR, that sort of thing. It sort of goes down, but for the most part, your 1080 Ti will run anything that is out there today pretty well, except for Metro Exodus with the whole ray tracing thing, yada yada. But either way, most things are just fine, so nobody really cares to buy these 2080 cards. They're just way too expensive, because the last cards, $600-700 for the 1080 Ti when they first came out, and so far, in the 980 Ti and etc., they were all the same price. And then this year they decided, because of the crypto market, that they'll know that people will buy them. They'll just place them at $1,300 pretty much arbitrarily. And with that, they sort of set a precedent, in that they can't just lower the price of the card now. They can't just be like, okay, well, nobody's buying them at $1,300. We'll put them back to the original retail, like what they should be, the MSRP of like $600-700, because then that would cause an absolute riot for the people who bought them at $1,300. They would feel like they'd be owed something. So, moving on, Justin Sun, the founder of Tron, recently posted a generous giveaway and even to present a Tesla and a drive that ended up increasing his followers. And now he has 1 million, but everybody thinks they are fake. So congratulations on Justin Sun's Twitter account becoming the first personal account that exceeded 1 million in the blockchain industry. Immediately, skeptics appeared to test whether the accounts were real, created just to boost the presence of Sun. Justin Sun is proud to be the first one in crypto to break 1 million. And I pulled his last 50K followers and the date each account was created. So somebody has a picture here of when they were created. To celebrate BTT, says success, I'm planning a 20 million cash airdrop, and that was Justin Sun. But I seen some of the pictures of most of his followers, and they were all just one follow. Like, they were only following one person. They had absolutely no picture whatsoever. And you can find these if you go to Justin Sun's Twitter and start looking through his followers. Most of them have absolutely no picture, no identification, no face, or anything like that. Nothing on the profile except for they're following one person, and that's Justin Sun. And those are just essentially bots. Those are totally fake accounts to make him look like he achieved 1 million. So he's just scamming with Tron, scamming with BTT, scamming with all of his announcements, and now scamming with a whole bunch of fake followers. So quite interesting, and now trying to get in touch with Tether and stuff too. So a scam on top of a scam on top of a scam on top of a scam. It's just amazing how people even remotely care about Tron or Justin Sun or any of these creations he has made so far. Just doesn't really make any sense to me. So moving on, BlockFi lowers interest rates for top tier crypto deposit accounts. Well, that didn't last particularly long, did it? So BlockFi came out. We'll go with a month ago. I think it was about 3 weeks ago. And BlockFi launched the BlockFi interest accounts, cryptocurrency accounts supporting Ethereum and Bitcoin earlier in March. The accounts initially offered a 6.2% interest rate paid monthly in crypto. The company's further analysis showed that almost 75% of the clients have a balance of less than 5 BTC or 150 Ethereum, while the medium account balance is about $7,000. So that was a few weeks ago, 6.2%. And I remember reading articles saying that they weren't going to change that interest rate anytime soon, that it is variable and it can change over time. If it's in a bull market, the interest rate will go down, and if it's in a bear market, the interest rate will go up. Now, so they said that they didn't want to change it right away because that would be like, kind of scammy, right? If you got in and then just a few weeks later they changed it. But they did anyway, even though they said it. Per the recent announcement, balances of up to or including 25 BTC or 500 Ethereum will still earn the 6.2% annual interest rate, while all balances over that limit will reportedly earn a 2% interest rate. So that is less than the average inflation rate, at least that of the United States. I'm not so sure about other countries. I know some other countries have higher inflation or lower inflation, but the average in America, I think, is like 3%. I think it might even be like 3.6%. I'm sure it varies from year to year, but for the most part, I was told a long time ago by an accountant that you shouldn't really put your money into a savings account like at your local bank, right? Because you might seem to think that, like, okay, well, if I put my money into a savings account, with like 1.5 interest or even 2% interest, which is just absolutely outrageous, and you'll rarely find that. I suppose you could, though, but either way, most like little local banks don't offer that much. You're actually losing money. You are losing money every year, because if the interest rate is, if the annual interest if the annual inflation rate, is like 3%, then you're actually losing a bit of money every year. You would actually have been better off spending that money than putting it and letting it sit in a savings account. Because while it looks like you are gaining more, if you wait 10, 20, 30 years, now that gallon of milk that used to be $3 is now $5. And you're just losing money over time. So that's not good at all. 2% interest rate is basically nothing. And it's lower than the average interest rate, or the inflation rate of the United States. So what I have to ask here is what is preventing anyone from putting in just 24.9 BTC or 449 or 499.9 Ethereum to earn that 6.2% interest rate, and then just making a separate account, maybe under somebody else's name or a spouse's name or a friend's name or something like that, and then putting in another 24.9 BTC, etc. I don't think there is, I think that's a terrible idea. So they have a withdrawal fee of such and such and such and such, it goes on to say. But basically, everybody at BlockFi that had more than 25 BTC or 500 Ethereum in it just got wrecked. So basically, it would be better off, and I'm not sure if it works like this, to just, if you had 26 BTC in there, to just remove a couple of BTC, or like 1.9 BTC or something like that, or 1.1, to get it just under 25 BTC. And then would you get that 6.2 interest rate? And in that sense, you would actually be making more money than having 26 BTC in there at 2% interest. So this is just really exploitable. This is borderline scam. Now, BlockFi is real, and they're doing real interest rates and stuff, but it was basically starting April 1st. So they opened up earlier in March, and within a month, they have already lowered the interest rate essentially for these big accounts by 4.2%. Absolutely ridiculous. Even though in some articles I read, I should have brought it up actually. I'm sure you guys can find it. They were basically saying that they don't want to reduce the interest rates right away within the first couple of months because then they might feel like everybody's going to be like thinking they're a scam, or that's going to be like wrong or in some way to the customer, because as soon as you put your money in there, boom, the interest rate goes down, and that's basically fraud in a sense. So absolutely ridiculous. BlockFi wrecked. Moving on. To Enron 2.0. Jeff Skilling and Lou Pai are back with a new energy venture. Oh, man. So, if you guys haven't heard, Jeff Skilling just got out of prison after 12 years from the Enron fiasco. If you guys don't know what the Enron fiasco is, it's actually a sousy story. I urge you guys to watch a documentary. I think there's documentaries on like Netflix. They should be on YouTube about the Enron fiasco. And it was just a horrible, horrible Ponzi scheme and mismanagement of funds. And this guy, the owner, went to the CEO went to jail for 12 years. I think a lot of people did. A lot of people lost their jobs. It was horrible. But now, Skilling's new project, right after he got out of prison, you literally can't even make this stuff up. Skilling's new project is said to be I don't know, maybe you could, but either way, his new project is a digital platform that connects investors to oil and gas projects. Skilling has also reportedly met with individuals who specialize in cryptocurrency and blockchain because, well, of course he has. I'm sure while he's been in prison, for the past 12 years, he has seen the rise of cryptocurrency and how Bitcoin went from basically 0.00003 cents to $20,000. And I'm sure he missed out on that and would love to make some kind of cryptocurrency scam again. Literally right after getting out of prison. No time to waste. So as the WSJ notes, the exact nature of the project is something of a mystery. Of course it is. Just like Enron, with the people briefed saying it was at an early stage. What is known as probably not will come as a surprise, considering Skilling's background. He has met with individuals who specialize in cryptocurrency, blockchain, software development in recent weeks. Recent weeks? He just got out of prison. Perhaps Skilling is hoping to hold California electricity as ransom in exchange for a Bitcoin payment made to an unknown address, ? But we digress. The former Enron executive is situated in a new office in Houston, and non-disclosure agreements have been signed between him and potential partners with the new project. Skilling is said to have begun working on his new project while serving 6 months at a Texas halfway house before being set free again. He's met with more than 24 former Enron executives, according to the report, which says he has been met with a warm reception. I'm sure he has. Just meeting with Enron executives, former Enron executives, after being in prison for 12 years, I can't even. It's real. You can't, it's hard to make this stuff up. Right after getting out of prison. Right after. I'm sure he's heard about cryptocurrency while in prison and was just itching to get into it. And hearing about BitConnect and getting letters and on phone calls with his executive buddies about BitConnect and Genesis mining and mining cryptocurrency and making money. Oh man, I'm sure he's been just itching in his bed thinking about that. Anyway, so this article here talks about the endothermic mining rigs exposed as a scam that I made videos on my past few videos. So fake team, fake office, and Concierge, which I love that name, Concierge. That's good stuff. So I was mentioned in this article, that's why I'm reading it, but it's really interesting that somebody made this. So a self-proclaimed cryptocurrency company from Luxembourg, as I mentioned in the videos, faces massive charges of fraud after it's been established that the alleged executives don't exist at all, and they don't. So on Miners, the company purported to be producing 3 mining rigs with vastly superior hash power from marketing competitors, used stock photos and most likely fake names for the executives on the website. And on social media, users became aware of the deception after the company released a press release on its alleged activity. The press release remained unchanged on several mainstream news platforms, including the Associated Press, VentureBeat, and Business Wire. And these press releases were all over the place. I mentioned this, and I showed some of the, just a few of the articles, and these are clearly paid articles. So if you have these websites similar to this, and now I'm not talking about how if this guy is a fraud or being paid to write these articles, but websites like this with these blog websites, these little news websites and small websites, even some of those Fox News and like Fox subsidiaries that like little small news stations, and they will pay them to write basically copy and paste these news articles, boom, boom, boom. And what that does is it caches Google. So whenever you type in on miners or you type in the name of their scam or their company, you're going to get a ton of them. You're going to get a ton of reviews on it, and they're all going to be good reviews. And you're going to think to yourself, unless you're smart, you're going to see that they're all the exact same article. So it makes people think that they're real. So in the press release, OnMiners promised a Bitcoin hashing performance of 140, 270, and 1,028 terahashes per second. It was actually 1,620 terahashes per second. So it was actually more than what is written in the article, which cost between $4,500 and $30,000. And so he said these numbers seem suspicious, as MrSotko, the host of YouTube cryptocurrency channel, immediately suspected as the fastest rigs of other companies did not exceed 50 terahashes, and that's the B2 miner, something like that. It's like I don't remember how much it costs, but it's like 2,600 watts or something like that. It's like a big cube. It's basically like 4 miners in one in a big server cube, and it's really, really inefficient. I mean, 50 terahashes is 50 terahashes, but it's a matter of like how much wattage does it take. So that amount of wattage is going to cost you $10 a day, and if you're only making $5 a day on 50 terahash, you're losing a lot of money pretty quick. So after taking a closer look at the executives come from, a pattern has emerged. A Google search for one reveals that the images are stock photos, some of which have been used elsewhere online. In the case of the character, the wannabe Megan Powell appears to be on websites made by female entrepreneurs about fertility trends. So kind of funny. And then he goes on to talk about OneCoin and things like that. But I just wanted to bring up that article. So he's got a Twitter and stuff. Follow him on Twitter. Pretty good writer. But he does write in German, so that's why I have this on Chrome so that I could just translate the whole page. So moving on to CoinMarketCap here, we're at $140 billion market cap. So better than, a few weeks ago where we were just stagnant around 130. So we have made progress, but I am wondering when is the dip? By now I'm wondering when is the dip. And trust me, these are things that I always want to be wrong on. When I see it go 4,100, 4,200, it always dips back to 3,800, 3,600 for like the past year, basically. Close to it, in a nutshell. And those are, of course, things that I want to be wrong on, right? I would love for it to just keep going up to 5,000. But in this case, the past examples, the past pattern has led me to believe that there's going to be a dip at 4,100, 4,200. And there kind of was. You can see the dip. We're now trading sideways. So hopefully this is just a new trend where we're just trading at 4,000 now. And maybe in a couple of weeks, we'll be trading at like 4,200, stable and up and up and up. But we'll have to see. I haven't seen many whale purchases, though, this time around. Normally, it's always like a whale purchase to, from 36 to 38, from 38 to 4,000, and then from 4,000 to like 4,200, all in an instant. And then, of course, it dips right back down to 3,600 or 3,800 just because they're selling back off. But that's all I have for you guys today. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video. That helps me out a lot. My social media is in the description below. Follow me on those if you get the opportunity. But I hope you guys enjoyed it, and as usual, I will see you guys next time.